Hello, welcome to Safeguarding Community around the world. Today's topic is COVID-19 vaccine. The question is, which is the best? Today with us is Dr. Samia Gupta, a respirologist from Toronto, Canada, who is just about to explain. Have a look at this video.
These are the numbers that really matter. Pfizer, 100%, Moderna, 100%, AstraZeneca, 100%, Janssen, 85%. This is how effectively each vaccine protects you against severe disease, things like ending up in hospital or dying from the virus. So when it comes to the things that we really want to avoid, they all protect us really well. So if you're holding out for what you think is a better shot, you might just be refusing a vaccine that keeps you off a ventilator in the hopes of getting one that might protect you better from getting the sniffles. Like many doctors on the front lines of the pandemic, I'm getting a lot of patients asking which vaccine I think is best. And my answer is always the same. The best vaccine is the first one you can get into your arm. It might take a little convincing, but let me tell you why all the vaccines we have are excellent and why they all perform about the same. Let's compare 4 vaccines approved in Canada and being used across the world right now. How do they work? Pfizer and Moderna. These were the first 2 vaccines out of the gate. Both require 2 shots, both are mRNA vaccines. mRNA is a molecule that our cells use to produce proteins. In this case, they've built an mRNA that holds the code for the spike protein of the novel coronavirus. When that mRNA goes into our cells read the code and produce the spike protein, which then triggers our immune system to make antibodies. And in case you're wondering, mRNA is a type of genetic material, but it's not DNA, and it can't do anything to alter your own DNA. So those are the mRNA vaccines. Now let's look at AstraZeneca and Janssen. The Astra vaccine requires 2 shots, but the Janssen vaccine requires only 1. Both of these use what's called a viral vector. In other words, instead of using mRNA to get our bodies to make the spike protein, they use a virus called adenovirus. That adenovirus is harmless to us, but it's designed to contain the same coronavirus spike protein. And when our immune system is exposed to that protein, it creates antibodies that protect us from COVID-19. Now, the big question on everyone's mind, are they safe? More than 600 million doses of these vaccines have been administered around the world, including more than 6 million here in Canada. And as expected, about 1 in 10,000 people have gotten severe allergic reactions to the shots, and those have mostly been people with a strong history of allergies. But the good news is that if there are any other side effects, they're extremely rare. And what about those unusual blood clots with the AstraZeneca vaccine? Well, they're so rare that even if they are from the vaccine, your chances of dying from COVID-19 in this country would be at least 50 times higher than your chances of getting one of those blood clots from the vaccine. Those risks may be different in people under 55, and more research is underway. Now, the vaccines will give you some arm pain and a day's worth of muscle aches, some fatigue, and even fever. But those are actually good things because it means that your immune system is working. How well do they work? Pfizer, 95%, Moderna, 94%, AstraZeneca, 62%, Janssen, 67%. These are efficacy numbers. In other words, how much less likely you are to get sick from the virus if you're vaccinated compared to not vaccinated. But the thing about these numbers is that they're constantly changing. For example, the AstraZeneca vaccine was just found to be 76% effective in the US trial. And those numbers are when the shot is given 1 month apart. When you spread it out 3 months, it's 81% effective. And the Janssen vaccine averaged out to 67% across countries, but in the US, it was 72% effective. But surely 95% has got to be better than 72%, right? Actually, we don't know. And that's because these studies were done at different times and in different parts of the world. Vaccines are less effective against the newer variants of concern that are now here. The Pfizer and Moderna trials were done when we didn't have these variants of concern, whereas the AstraZeneca and Janssen trials were done more recently when variants had already begun to circulate. Also, these are the numbers for the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines when you get your shots 3 or 4 weeks apart. What we don't know is how those vaccines will perform when you get your shots 3 or 4 months apart, which will be the case for many Canadians. So although 95% sounds better than 72%, that's like saying the guy who scored 95% on a grade 10 math test is smarter than the girl who scored 72% on an astrophysics exam. The questions are so different that you just can't know. Now, having said all that, I'll also tell you that those numbers aren't even the ones we really care about. These are the numbers that really matter. Pfizer, 100%, Moderna, 100%, AstraZeneca, 100%, Janssen, 85%. This is how effectively each vaccine protects you against severe disease, things like ending up in hospital or dying from the virus. So when it comes to the things that we really want to avoid, they all protect us really well. So if you're holding out for what you think is a better shot, you might just be refusing a vaccine that keeps you off a ventilator in the hopes of getting one that might protect you better from getting the sniffles. So if you're lucky enough to be offered a vaccine, go get it. The sooner we can all do that, the sooner we'll get through this pandemic together.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for explaining to us we are better off with a jab than without. It has been absolutely a pleasure listening to you, and I hope the safeguarding community around the world can make a better choice of choosing to have a jab. If you have benefited from this video, please give it a like, share with somebody, leave your notification bell open if you haven't, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to us. And until we meet in the next video, Safeguarding Community, we ask you to remain safe. We're out.